Hey everyone, Paul from Meldrum Performance Coaching and the Complete Personal Trainer podcast, and I'm back. Had a little bit of time off I've work commitments basically. So back into podcasting, and no, it wasn't having a break for social media because I needed to do that or announce it. I don't think that's generally a necessary thing unless you're copying a whole bunch of nonsense online, which I'm certainly not. So today's post is about fat loss and the hierarchy of fat loss. So today on Instagram, I've posted the MPC Fat Loss Hierarchy for general population clients. So Meldrum Performance Coach on Instagram, go check it out. It'll be on Facebook as well. And basically it goes through one of the most important things as a personal trainer you need to focus on if your client is a general population client who is time poor, who wants to lose body fat and doesn't really care about muscle. Now, one thing that we see as PTs, and what we see with PTs and all kinds of health practitioners, is that we put our biases onto our clients. So what I mean by that is if we love weight training, we get our clients to do weight training. If we like low carb diets, we like high carb diets, whatever it is, we push these things onto our clients. And it doesn't really work like that. We need to make our decisions based on what's best for the person in front of us that fits into their lifestyle and their needs. And a lot of people look at my hierarchy and they get a little bit freaked out because it doesn't really fit into what their bias is. Now, I'll give you a quick picture there. If you're watching it on the YouTube, you can't really see that too well, but it's going to be on the social media. But basically, the hierarchy starts off with nutrition. Nutrition is the most important thing for fat loss. This has been said by every reputable name in the health and fitness industry, hopefully. Calorie deficit is super important. It's calories in versus calories out at the end of the day. The way we get there can be there can be a multitude of ways to get there. So what I'm going to do over the next couple of days is address each of these points in a little bit more detail and go into the how that we can do nutrition, some of the different ways that we can do it, some different approaches we can do it, and how calorie counting doesn't have to be the only way, but what we don't have to count calories, but they certainly count towards that. Now, the next side of calories in versus calories out is, well, calories in, we've taken care of our nutrition, we need to take care of calories out. And the most important thing there is NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, for the time poor person. And the reason why I've put NEAT there is because NEAT can have a much greater impact on someone's total daily energy expenditure than their structured exercise activity. So if someone is totally sedentary all day long and they don't get up at all throughout the day, it's going to make it really hard for them to lose body fat, even if they are doing structured exercise training in the best way possible. So we need to make sure that we give our clients a lifestyle advice and lifestyle help to help them increase their levels of non-exercise activity so they can burn fat and burn a higher proportion of calories. NEAT can be anywhere from like 10 to 40% in some cases. For some people, they're totally daily energy expenditure. So it's a very important thing to look at. Now, the next one is structured cardio. And in the slides that on Instagram, it has a reference to where this comes from. And it's found that structured cardio training does help burn more fat than resistance training, it's quite significantly, and burns about the same amount of fat as resistance training and cardio training combined, but with a much lower time investment. So if we are working with general population clients and they don't care about how much muscle, and believe me, they do exist, cardio training is a better option for them if they have only one thing that they can possibly choose. Now, does that mean that cardio training just means you put them on a treadmill? No, there's tons of ways that you can go about doing it. The heart is a dumb muscle where it knows to pump harder. So we're going to go through some ways how we can do cardio with our clients and help them achieve that outcome. Then there comes weight training. Weight training can be useful. Like, I think weight training, everyone should participate. At least 2 to 3 days a week of weight training for everyone would be a really good prescription for general health throughout the population. It will help build muscle, maintain muscle. For some people, that's not important. And that's where I put it a little bit lower on the hierarchy. And it's something that you can then sell as something that you do with your clients. Cool, you take care of the structured cardio and NEAT. I'll take care of the weight training so you can get the most out of each of these sessions. How does that sound? And no one's ever said no to that. So that is a really nice way to look at it. And you can throw cardio stuff into the weight training as well, which I'll discuss how to do. And then finally, other movement. Things like yoga classes, Pilates, etc. Things like that, which aren't necessarily, they're not bad, but they're not necessarily useful either. So like weight training will probably burn more calories than yoga. It really depends on the size of the person and the type of training you're doing. These types of training will not hurt, but they're not the best use of time if your goal is to achieve a particular fat loss goal. So guys, that is the MPC hierarchy of fat loss. It's a little bit controversial because I haven't put weight training first in terms of exercise, which a lot of people really seem to struggle with emotionally for some reason. Check it out on Instagram where I go through it in a little bit more detail with written posts, etc. And over the next couple of days, I'll be interspersing this with other podcasts where I talk about other things that are relevant to the PT industry. Thanks heaps, guys. See you soon.